Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the middle, this is for February 2022. This is part 2 is where I was going with that. This right here is part 1. There's a link to part 1 in the pinned comment down below. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, definitely go and make sure to check this out because it is linked up down below. Part 1. But we're just going to clarify through here, and we're going to see what comes up for you. With that Archway card, you have this hammock card. It says taking a vacation physically or mentally. So I do feel that would be a great idea. Remember, in your first reading, we were talking all about you protecting your energy and different ways that you could potentially be doing that to kind of like fill yourself back up. And I feel like taking a vacation would be a great idea. All the way over here, I'm going to clarify this way as well. You have the Saturn card. It says structure. So I feel like adding some structure to your day would be a good idea. I see this more. I see this Saturn energy as more of you making something real in your life, making something solid. Kind of looks like a commitment to me. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be love. You could be, maybe you've been thinking about an idea for a very long time. It exists out here in the ether, and the commitment is that you're bringing something down to earth. I actually feel like you have a choice. It's like one of those things. Maybe you've been thinking about writing a book or starting a YouTube channel or doing something, and it's like you have a choice. You can either make it a reality. Saturn's going to help you do that. With Saturn, we have to put the work in and learn, right? Or you're just going to let it go and you're going to move on to something else, which is also fine. You know, it's your choice. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands says, don't just let it go. Of course, after I said that, Queen of Wands says, be bold, be assertive, be brave, and make something happen. So I do feel this reading, that kind of changes things with that, what I just said about that Saturn thing. Again, I do feel like she is saying, be brave, be bold, be assertive, really go for something. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hangman. Yeah, you're ready with that Page of Pentacles for sure. Remember, with the Page of Pentacles, we were talking about you channeling energy. And look, his head is glowing on the Hangman. So, he is clarifying that Page of Pentacles where we were talking all about channeling energy or kind of bringing more energy through your head. And that's kind of like what I feel for you here, is it's almost like you're channeling energy, you're gathering details, and now you have everything you need. Remember, I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Fool shows up. I still wouldn't be surprised if the Fool shows up. You always get the Fool. But this reminds me of Fool energy. It's like the Hangman, he's made sacrifices, he's waiting, but now his head's glowing. It's like it's time to get started. You have everything you need. With the Death card, you have the Five of Wands. You could be leaving behind something that causes conflict or competition in your life. So I do feel that you could be walking away from things that just cause conflict. My thing about the Five of Wands, though, is that really it's a card of learning. They're learning how to fight. They're not necessarily fighting just for shits and giggles here, Virgo. They're fighting so that they can learn how to fight. Their training. I feel like you have been through training. It's like the past few years have been probably extra challenging for you, I would say. And it's like now you're moving past that energy. With this Wind Chime card, you have the Broom. It says new home, new attitude. So there you go. If you're moving, this could be a good thing. You could be it could be affecting you emotionally, I feel, with this Broom card. I also do feel like you could be cleaning things up as well, just like your energy or your space, which would be a good idea with that card. With the Hermit, you have the Page of Cups, new beginning coming in for you for sure. Again, if you're looking for love, could be love, but I like to do bigger picture readings and kind of like on a big picture level, having 2 pages like this, plus that Hermit, plus you literally have cards that say new beginning on them. I feel like there is a new beginning coming in for you. This Page of Cups, he has a dream. He is imagining that fish that is in that cup there. So I feel like for a lot of you, you could be kind of like manifesting something that you've been dreaming about for a very long period of time with the fish in that cup. And again, it's probably going to require work. You have this Boot card here, which says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. So you're going to have to work. The Hermit, he has climbed to the top of the mountain. That is your card, though. So it's kind of like saying, it might require work for you to manifest something at this time, but, everything requires work. I hate to be the one to tell you that, but, it is what it is, right? With the Six of Wands, you have the Six of Swords. I love it. I love 2 sixes. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love 2 sixes. To me, 2 sixes is just confirmation for your path. To me, when they come up together like this, especially on top of each other, clarifying each other, it's kind of like saying you're moving in the right direction. You're going in the right way. You're doing the right things that you need to do in your life. So I feel there's a lot of success for you here with these cards. The Six of Swords, like moving on to calmer shores. So I do feel like there are improvements coming in for you. With the Star, you have the King of Pentacles and noticing the change. Plain and simple. Remember what we were saying. It's popping into my head hot and heavy here, Virgo. You notice the ripples that are in this pool right here. That's really standing out to me. And I mentioned that in your first reading. The King of Pentacles is the card of convention. He represents the way things have always been done. So I feel for a lot of you, this is actually saying that you're noticing the change in the way that things are done. This is Neptune and Pisces energy. We're dealing with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is bonkers, right? It is crazy energy. Neptune and Pisces is like a little 2-year-old child that's always asking why for everything. And it's like, I don't know, because is the answer, right? But the problem with Neptune and Pisces, it's not a problem actually, it's a good thing, is that Neptune and Pisces is like why do we do things the way that we do them when there could be like an easier way to do things just in the first place as well. And, you know, I think personally, I think by the time we get to the end of Neptune and Pisces, we're actually going to see things like less laws and less rules and regulations existing in the world because like half of them are unnecessary. The other thing is like half of them, and like even in jobs, for example, it's like maybe you have to fill out unnecessary paperwork, right? It's like all this bureaucracy that exists in the world is being kind of chipped away at because probably it's unnecessary, probably because somebody is going to ask why, just like a 2-year-old, right? But this is a good thing because again, it's going to lead to progress. It's going to lead to an easier life. It's like, you know, I've heard from many people who have jobs where they have to fill out all this paperwork that just is for nothing, that just, you know, for no real good reason other than maybe to give someone else a job, right? Which is not a good reason. So I feel that this King of Pentacles is the way things that have always been done. It's like we do things because we've always done them this way, but it's like, should we or not? I feel like you're asking that question. It's blowing my mind right now because I just see you asking this question on every single level, on a society level, on a personal level. You could be having these things come up in your life like, why do I always do this? Why do I always drive this way to work? Maybe you start driving another way to work and something really good happens for you. You never know. You never know how kind of like changing your day, mixing up your day could change your life, right? I know that sounds crazy, but you know, I think we fall into patterns, things become boring, and we don't realize that mixing things up from time to time can really, you know, spice up our life, right? With that dagger card, you have the shark. It says, take care or there will be loss of material wealth. I wouldn't worry too much about this. I feel like you're just saying, you know, pay attention at this time. Obviously, the dagger says fears, worries, tense situation. Sometimes I think in work or business, we can self-sabotage, and that's what I'm getting here. It's like saying, if things are going well, keep doing what's working. I actually want to clarify this middle row. You have this climate card. It actually says transits on it, and it says the word climate underneath it. So you could be undergoing there are Saturn transits happening right now, and you could be undergoing some transits that are causing a change in your environment. In the bottom row, you have this red crowned crane card, and it says loyalty on it. So I feel for a lot of you that this could be a change in love. There definitely could be a person who's very loyal to you coming in for you. What's the next card? Yeah, you have this polar bear spirit. It says ancestors on it. So I do feel like you are being guided at this time as well. Let's clarify this. With the Four of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Definitely a new adventure coming in for you. You have that broom card, which says new home, new attitude. You have this climate card as well. I don't know if you remember, but a couple weeks ago, I did these readings. I called, what did I call those? Environment readings, I think. And in those readings, I did them because I kept getting these messages about how our environment is going to be very, 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 very important for us, like for everybody. So I would be paying attention to your environment, the things that are around you. Can you set your environment up to be more successful for you? I always say, like, I changed everything in my office. Now I come in here, I hit one button, and boom, I'm up and running, right? I don't have to hit a bunch of things. Everything turns on with one button, basically, here. And then I can get shooting video. So it's like I've created an environment of success. I feel like that's going to be important for you here. It's like, do you have a business? Do you have a job? Are there changes that you can make that would make things easier? And again, it might require getting around some rules with that King of Pentacles and the Star. It's like I see you asking why. Like maybe your boss is like, well, we have to do this extra paperwork because, and if I feel like maybe you're the person, maybe you're the one that brings in the change. Maybe if you're like, yeah, but we could do this a lot easier. You know, I feel like you could be the person that leads to change. You could be doing this on a personal level as well. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords, authority. It's funny that I said that. Four of Pentacles is a card of holding on too tightly to things. The King of Swords is a card of authority. There's definitely something here about you dealing with authority figures. It could be authority in your own life as well. It's like sometimes I think we have beliefs. Neptune and Pisces is ancestral beliefs. You have this ancestors card right here. Neptune and Pisces is like, I believe this because my grandparents believed it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but maybe there are some things that we just don't need to believe anymore. Or maybe there are some things where maybe they just didn't have good information at the time, right? It's like, I can think of many things where it's like my grandfather, he was like a big fan of like going to college, right? It's like, would college benefit a person like me? I fell on my head when I was 10 years old, and I started failing classes, couldn't pay attention, and all this other stuff. So I sucked at school. And it's like, would college have been beneficial to me? I did go to college, but I dropped out after like 2 years. So I have 2 years of college, but was it beneficial? No, not for me. So again, it's like you could be challenging ancestral beliefs here, things that people believed were important. And maybe they were, in their time, but in this time, it's like other things are important and you're making those changes. This is going to lead to progress. With the Six of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords here. I'm going to pull an extra row here, Virgo, because I need more details on this, but definitely leaving something behind. I don't think this has to be a bad thing in this diagonal. Six of Swords to the Ten of Swords. It's like Ten of Swords is something dead, done, over with. It's like saying you need to move past something. But it's like, is it a bad thing? Probably not. I personally don't consider the Ten of Swords to be a bad card in the first place because that guy is dead. It's a card of being dead, done, over with. It's like, there's nothing, I've heard a lot of readers say how bad the Ten of Swords is. I'm like, yeah, but he's actually dead. It doesn't get much worse than that. So it's really not that bad of a card. He just needs to realize that he has to move past something. Can we just get more details on this? Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is messy. I think this has come up for you in the past as well, Virgo. Knight of Wands is probably a challenge for you because Knight of Wands is a very spontaneous energy. He doesn't like follow a plan. He doesn't necessarily, it's kind of like the opposite of Virgo. It's not very organized. It's not a very kind of thought out energy. He's more flying by the seat of his pants. He's like, I want to go accomplish this thing. Star is like your dream, goal, wish, whatever. And he's like, I want to go accomplish this thing, but he just goes. He doesn't like care how he gets there. And so that energy could be a little bit challenging because it's like encouraging you to experiment and not have a solid plan. Yeah, you have the Sun. Definitely time for you to move towards your happiness. With the Sun card, I would move towards anything that makes you happy. And you have the Judgment card. Yeah, it is definitely time for you to make a change. These people are still in their coffins. They're being called out of the coffin by this horn here. And if they step out, they're stepping out into a new world. It's crazy to me how pretty much every single sign has been getting these messages of needing to step into the new world. It's like, I don't know, I can't help it. It's like sometimes people say that I always say the same thing. I'm like, well, it's like I can't control what the cards say, obviously. And it is what it is. But I really feel like it's because the universe is like saying, okay, nobody's going to give you permission. Like I said, King of Pentacles. There are people, places, and things in this world that maybe are institutions, right, that we have always believed in just because we've always believed in it. And I feel like the universe is really saying, like, no, it's like the time is like dead, done, and over with, Ten of Swords, for us to ask for permission to do things. And I'm not suggesting, somebody always takes it here. I'm not suggesting we break laws or do anything crazy. That's not what I'm suggesting. I actually don't think we have to do that. I feel like there are co-creative ways that we can improve the world and work with the powers that be or whatever. Trust me, I think we should throw them all in jail as far as I'm concerned. But what I would say here is that, we don't have to do anything crazy. We just have to start living our lives, and we have to not ask for permission. I think again, I've talked about this before. We're going to be discovering this third place that exists where basically, most of the old way of doing things is going to be going away. And I know I'm speaking very generally here, but it is a very general thing. I feel like this has to do with many different aspects of life. So very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where this goes in the mid-monthlies, but thank you for being here, Virgo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising, and also part 1 is linked up down below as well, so if you haven't watched it yet. But thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, and definitely enjoy your month.